Hey, Internet, it's day 2.
Sure is.
We watched Hayride 2. Okay, so if you saw the video yesterday and you heard all the stuff that we said, that again.
The kills were better.
Yeah.
Well, some of the kills were better.
Yes, the one change I did notice is that they did do a lot better with the kill effects. Like the guy's face on the hot pipe, and like they actually had like the melted flesh. That looked really good. The cop that he stabbed in the trunk, they didn't do like bad CG blood. They actually had like blood splatter, and like it looked like he was stabbing him. Like that was way better. So there were better kills.
They flipped an ambulance. Granted, it was half in frame.
Yes, but
so
they
flipped
they
an ambulance.
did it. Like, yeah, it looked good.
Okay.
So they did more practical stuff. It looked a lot better because of it. So I will definitely give them credit for that.
And they took my advice and actually changed the location to something that actually was Halloween-looking, fall.
Yes.
No leaves on the trees. So that was nice that they heard my comment there.
And it was funny because at first I was complaining that they were in a hospital. And I kept commenting multiple times about how all the hallways have, like, you know, plastic or caution tape or, like, you know, construction garbage bags and just stuff lying around. Like, why? This is an active hospital. They're here. It wouldn't look like this. Why is this a thing? And then they actually explained later when someone mentioned, oh, this part of the hospital is under renovation. So that's why it looked like that. It's why the elevators didn't work. Like, it actually made sense. They did proper world building. So, I mean, good job.
Took them a while to get to it, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they probably should have said that up front. But they got there, so I'll give them credit for that. The acting still was not the best. Steven, the guy that plays him, is just not great.
Yeah, he was the weakest link in the movie for
he was.
That by far.
Yes.
But everybody else acted better.
Yeah.
There were some emotional scenes that were well acted, but they were totally pointless to the movie.
Mm-hmm. I will say the one conversation Corey had with the nurse was so weird because like I know what emotion they were going for and it's supposed to be like empathy or maybe inspiration or whatever, but it really felt like she was just rubbing in how crappy his situation was. Like, oh man, I've seen so much trauma, but yours is worse. And like your whole family died, but it's not just bad for them, it's really bad for you too. Like everything she said felt like pouring salt in the wound. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that scene was, but it was awful.
Yeah. I don't know why they called it Hayride 2 either. There was no Hayride.
I actually, was making a mental note to comment on that. But yeah, they moved away from the Hayrides altogether.
Right.
Like, they weren't even on the farm anymore, so there wasn't...
They showed the Hayride wagon, which wasn't the same Hayride wagon. The first one was metal and made for ATVs. The next one was just a chore wagon. So
they showed a commercial for the Hayride. And this is very nitpicky continuity brain here. But this takes place starting on November 1st, which means the TV slots that he paid for those commercials would have ended because you're not going to pay for your commercial after the event that you're advertising. So there's no way that would have been on the TV.
Right.
No network is airing your commercial for free. They'd rather have dead air than give you free money.
That's true, yeah.
So that commercial never would have played.
Yep.
Very minor thing. 99% of people would not pick up on that. But right away I noticed, I'm like, no, that's wrong. That would not be playing.
Was it another, was it like the first movie where you didn't feel like you were wasting time or you were begrudgingly watching the whole movie?
Yeah, no, I still, like you said last time, I don't know what the right word is, if it's invested or interested or whatever, but, like, I wanted to see what was going to happen, you know, each scene, I wanted to, you know, get to the next, like, I wasn't like, this needs to be over already. Like, I wasn't checking the clock or anything, like, it was still perfectly fine, and, I mean, we did say if the effects were better, it would be at least an average movie or better, so, I mean, I think this was that. Like, it was an improvement from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably give it like a 6. Like, it's still around average. I don't necessarily need to watch it again, but definitely better than the last one. Like, it wasn't aggressively bad or anything at all.
Yeah, I think I'd go right in the middle. I'd give it a 5. I'm more neutral. Like, sure, the kill scenes were better, but there was just so much that didn't need to be in the movie.
Yeah.
A lot could have been cut out.
It was an hour and a half. They probably could have brought it down to like 60 minutes, maybe even 50. There's a lot of things that could have been shortened or cut entirely. The one thing that I noticed in this movie, like we talked about in the first one, how a lot of the cop scenes didn't necessarily need to be there. And this one had even more cop characters, and I needed a lot less of that.
They were all useless.
If you were going to expand anything, it should not be the police character aspect. It should be the killer and the people trying to survive the killer.
Right.
And, like, they set up that Steven is actually the killer's grandson. It's Pitchfork's grandson. They didn't do anything with that.
No.
Like, I thought after they mentioned it, that would somehow come into play.
Like, fuck you, Grandpa.
But, like, he didn't even acknowledge at the time that was his grandfather.
I'm not afraid of you anymore.
Yeah. Like, even when they told him, he didn't be like, oh my god, Pitchfork's my grandpa?
Right.
Like, he just... The news went in an ear, and he vaguely acknowledged that words happened, but he didn't process it, and then it never came up again. And if that's the case, I don't even know why you would bring it up at all. Like, don't put things in your movie if they're not going to come into play.
Right.
That's always a weird thing for me. There was something else, I don't even remember what it was, but, like, there's a scene in the movie where the camera lingered on something after the action happens, and, like, they were just getting scenery or B-roll or whatever. But it lingered for a little too long, and the thing that it lingered on was not at all important and never came up again. And it just makes me think, why would you do that? Like, if you linger, it makes it seem important.
Right.
So then if you don't acknowledge it or use it or show it again, that was just pointless footage. Like, you didn't do a red herring, you just wasted camera space. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. There were still some weird choices made here. They definitely... Like, it's not just the acting and writing, because anyone can do that bad or good. Like, that's whatever. But there were still just some weird direction choices and weird, like, camera choices. I will say, though, we noticed right at the beginning, it looked a lot better. The cinematography was way better.
Right.
Like, the camera was more in focus. The shots were great. There were a few shots in here that I commented while we were watching were just really well-done shots. Like, slowly zooming into the house while it was on fire, it looked amazing.
Mm-hmm. The mask ripping off.
Yeah, there was another one early on. I don't even remember what it was, but I remember commenting on another one that it was just... There were some impressive shots. Oh yeah, it was not a noticeable oneer, but like where he runs up to the elevator, pushes the button, the doors open, cops come out, and he's going the other way in the background. Yeah. It was a really well choreographed shot. It looked really good. Like, they did good jobs on individual parts in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I can't discredit them entirely. They put effort in. It was better in the first. They did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
It still could have been a better movie.
Yeah.
So, but I'm comfortable with a 6.
Yeah,
but I understand your 5.
It's neutral.
Yeah.
You know, not good, not bad. Just it is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. So, I don't know that I'd necessarily recommend the Hayride duology, but... If you're going to watch it, you're not going to hate it afterward. But, like, don't go out of your way. I am excited for tomorrow's movie, Fear Farm, because I've seen the first one, not the second one yet. But I think you're really going to like it.
Okay.
So,
okay.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.